last time out, Buddy Simpson returned to Formula 1 action in style. And he's going to finish in a solid P6, so a good drive for him. A performance which is going to further boost the reputation he is getting for himself this year. Buddy Simpson was still a little worried about his dad after he is still furious about what he did at Indy. But he has to put that to the back of his mind as he is about to head off to Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So, from the high speed of Montreal to the even higher speed of Baku with its really long straights, obviously this track was going to divide opinion when it came to setup. One interesting thing that Buddy was having to deal with, obviously, as mentioned before, was engine usage, as he's running a little bit iffy in terms of when it comes to taking engine penalties, and it's likely he will have to take some engine penalties later in the season. He's put in a new engine for this weekend. In the first two practice sessions he used an old engine but couldn't pass any of the tasks his team had set him because of its lack of power, so he put in a new engine for practice 3, which solved the issue. So for this race, he was going to have a straight-on speed advantage. It's his first race at this tricky circuit, obviously, as with the rest of the tracks this season. So it's going to be a new experience for him. So it is time to find out which teams have set their cars up right, as it is time for the qualifying report. It was fairly cloudy as qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix was about to get underway. McLaren were always going to struggle here with the long straight, and that showed as they locked out the back row. Sauber also struggled as they locked out the penultimate row. Toro Rosso endured an average session. Romain Grosjean was delighted to make Q3, whilst Lance Stroll was disappointed with 16th. The Renaults once again qualified on the edge of the top 10. Buddy qualifying in his customary P10. Force India impressed with 6th and 8th. Red Bull endured an average session to 4th and 5th. Raikkonen would start P13 due to a grip penalty, whilst Vettel is on the front row. Whilst it's Lewis Hamilton who takes pole. So, looking at the grid for this race, it's Hamilton on pole ahead of Vettel in 2nd. Bottas lines up in 3rd ahead of Verstappen in 4th, Ricciardo in 5th and Perez in 6th. Grosjean and Preston in 7th with Ocon 8th, Massa 9th with Simpson rounding out the top 10. Hulkenberg starts 7th ahead of Sainz, Raikkonen with his grid penalty and Magnussen. Kvyat starts 15th ahead of Stroll, Verline, Ericsson with the two McLarens looking out the back row.
Anthony Davidson joins me today as we look ahead to something just a little bit different. It's quite high speed for a street circuit here, isn't it? Do you think that's going to throw up any unexpected situations?
Well, as long as the teams can keep everything cool, I don't foresee any particular big issues from a technical side of things. I do expect the track to be quite slippery though. We've not exactly had much chance to rubber in the surface. Any street circuit also comes with its own challenges, so I think we'll be seeing a few mistakes here and there. The smart strategy would be to expect a safety car, I think, especially early on when the pack is bunched up.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo and Perez, Grosjean, Ocon, Massa and a Renault, Hulkenberg, Sainz, Kimi Raikkonen and Magnussen, Kvyat, Stroll, Pascal Wehrlein and Marcus Ericsson. Alonso and Stoffel Van Dorn completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So here Buddy is sitting on the grid here in Baku, ready to go. It's a very high speed street circuit, so it's obviously going to be a very tough race for Buddy. As you can see, he's waiting on the grid to get underway for the formation lap. He struggled a bit in practice, didn't get the practice he needed due to using an old engine, So he was quite surprised to qualify in P10, or actually he qualified P11, but was promoted to P10 by Kimi Raikkonen having a grid penalty. But as you can see, he's left the grid fine, so no issues for Buddy on leaving the grid. So as you can see, they're all lining up on the grid, or getting closer to the grid. Obviously it is a very long run to the grid here in Baku from when the drivers start accelerating, which is going to make drafting very interesting, especially towards the end of a race. So as you can see, Buddy hits his grid box. So the race is about to get underway as the rest of the field line up on the grid. So we have the lights in Baku. Lights, sound, away we go, and Buddy gets a reasonable launch in comparison to Felipe Massa ahead, heading up towards the first corner. Look at the Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz just diving it up the inside. That causes us to have to back off a little bit, side by side with Felipe Massa, but we hit too much of the curbs, a little bit of contact, and unfortunately we have lost that position. It's a little bit of contact. Buddy almost bump drafting NASCAR style down the straight. He has a look down the inside, but look at Kimi Raikkonen steaming up the outside of us, and now he's on the inside of Felipe Massa, and he has managed to make that move stick. We are right behind Felipe Massa here, but we can't make that stick. So we have lost 2 positions, which is really not ideal, but obviously it is a long race. So as you can see, he has a little look down the inside of Massa, but to no avail. So moving on to lap 4, not been the most exciting first few laps for Buddy. I mean, he's just been biding his time, making sure that he saves a good amount of fuel for later in the race. But as you can see, he is right behind Felipe Massa, and he's got a new engine that's going to give him a lot of grunt on the straight, and that's showing. And this is a Mercedes engine he's against here, and especially with the DRS, but he's got DRS as well. So we're going to get the run onto Felipe Massa heading into turn 1. He's going to try to outbrake us, but we're able to fight it round the outside, and we have made that move stick. So we are up into P11. But unfortunately that would not last long. As you can see, Felipe's got the run on us, and there is actually a little bit of contact heading into the first corner. Buddy runs wide, Felipe takes the place. It was at this point in the race that Buddy was starting to struggle against the Mercedes-powered cars. As you can see, he's got Lance Stroll in the other Williams right behind him, who we do have DRS off the cars ahead. As you can see, Massa has gone into the pit, and we have done enough, but then we've got Max Verstappen, who kind of is a bit of a roadblock for us, and that actually costs us quite a bit of time. And now heading down the second DRS straight, as you can see, Lance Stroll is now right behind us. We tried to move to the inside to fend him off, but he's got the inside line and he has taken the position. So moving on to lap 16, and as you can see, he's right behind Ricciardo, who's pitted, but he's got his teammate Nico Hülkenberg right behind, who has the run. Thankfully we have DRS, which is going to make things easier for us, as you can see. But look at that, he has made contact, and we go off into the runoff area. And it's such a thin runoff area that it's really hard to get going again quickly. Like, on this game, it's not easy to spin your car around without crashing, so Buddy has to basically do the reverse and accelerate. It's just incredibly difficult, and he's losing so much time. So he rejoins the track, and look at that! Ericsson hits us! And then hits us straight into the wall. What is he doing? Please put in the comments section whose fault you think that was. But Buddy was not happy.
Honestly, what are we doing here? Why are we racing with such mental guys? Front wing is destroyed. At the box. Race is destroyed. Come on.
Okay, Buddy, calm down.
How can I? Make sure you speak to Charlie about this. This is just ridiculous.
So Buddy has to pit for a new front wing, and as I said, please put in the comment section whose fault you think that incident was, because from what I saw, he rejoined the track, but Ericsson had plenty of time to react, and then he steers into us and we hit the wall. So and as you can see, we are getting lapped, and that's even more bad news, because this means even if there's a safety car, we'd actually drop to the back, a lap behind everyone. So really unfortunate. So he did begin to catch up with Marcus Ericsson, but one thing that was a real nagger was whenever we caught, we'd have to respond to blue flags. And as you can see, this is happening here, as we've got a faster car coming to lap, and the plan was to lift off down the straight, as you can see, giving him the run and the switch. But as you can see, Marcus Ericsson ahead is going really slowly. I think he got the blue flags. And heading into turn 1, there's a bit of contact, and we're caught up, and we've lost an end plate again. So taking a look at the replay, as you can see, this wasn't really anyone's fault, this incident. Ericsson and Hamilton just made contact, and we were unfortunate to be caught up in it. But we are heading into the pits at the end of this lap, and this is not as bad as it seems, because this enables him to go to the end of the race, and whilst his rivals will actually have to move over to let lapped traffic through, whilst we have to pit, but the drivers lapping us, we don't have to let through because we're in the pits, and they are going to get ahead of us anyway. So as you can see, we pit for the last time. Obviously it's a longer stop, but it really just has not been our race though, has it? I mean, so many things, kind of like Spain in a way. So moving on to lap 45, and we are right behind Marcus Ericsson. We actually get a stop-go penalty for ignoring blue flags, but it's not going to cost us anything. There's actually a little bit of lag there, and we hit the wall, which causes us to lose part of our wing. But we have taken P17, but we need to pull a 5-second gap to hold it. And although the end plate damage was minor compared to the other times that we lost our end plate, it was still going to be increasingly tricky to extend the gap. So a really frustrating race for Buddy Simpson. He's going to finish in P17, which is going to become P18 after his penalty gets served. So Buddy crosses the line to finish in P17, really not his race today. So obviously very disappointing, but a lot of it really not his fault. So looking at the result, Bottas it is that wins. Lewis obviously lost out in that incident. No points for Renault. I believe that's the first time this season that Renault are pointless. But a very disappointing race for Buddy. I don't know why it's saying we got a 10-second time penalty. We got 2 5-second time penalties, because we didn't at any point get a second one. But not that it affects anything anyway, as we still get no points. So a very frustrating race for Buddy at the office. But a good day at the office for Valtteri Bottas. As you can see, he is celebrating, taking a victory. He has something to celebrate, unlike Buddy. But we also failed to beat our teammate, which is not good. As you can see, the drivers are now onto the podium, about to take their trophies from this race. So, Buddy has a poor race today, but the big question is, can he bounce back as Formula 1 heads off to Austria?